Christianity is being completely frozen out of America.
Good.
Why can't I pray in school?
You can. Teachers just can't encourage you or discourage you to pray. It's not mandatory.
Why do I have to check my religion at the door?
You don't have to, but it's best to do so in a state-run school.
Why can't I write about God in my school papers?
Because that could be offensive to those who don't believe the way that you do, and could be looked at as forcing religion in a state-run building.
Why do I have to tolerate people cursing my God, but I am not allowed to talk about God in my faith?
Nobody said you can't speak of your God. Just agree to disagree and leave it at that.
Why are they taking God out of my history books?
Because religion has no place in education, not in the way you're thinking of it. Now, something like Isaac Newton, for an example, who, he came up with calculus in just a couple of months' time. And he actually stopped doing a problem, something that was solved like 100 years later by some other scientist. And he stopped, but Newton stopped at the problem because he said that only God knew the answer. So I think religion should be in your history books, but not in the way you want it to be.
Why do they teach every other theory in science except creation?
Because creationism isn't science. It's more of a philosophy, and one of ignorance. Adam and Eve were ignorant and thus looked at as innocent. Evil tempted them with knowledge. Satan tempted Eve into the fruit of knowledge, or to eat the fruit of knowledge, yeah? So, in other words, knowledge is evil. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with this philosophy, and it shouldn't be taught in schools as a philosophy or even recommended.
Why am I called names because I believe in marriage the way God designed it?
If you're basing your beliefs on gay marriage from the Old Testament, then you better live by the rest of it. This involves condoning slavery, viewing as inferior, treating them like objects and idle playthings, putting them to death if they aren't a virgin before they get married, and etc. Also, don't shave, get a haircut, eat pork, or shellfish. It's also not very kind to blind people. Jesus never spoke on the gays. Either he got rid of all the old rules, or he got rid of none of them. Mostly he just goes about bitching about the rich, but somehow the conservatives have claimed him on his own anyhow. Hypocrites.
Some even call us hateful.
Hypocrites.
Unloving.
Close-minded.
Bigots.
Well, that's because you guys are.
Why can't Tim Tebow praise God after making a touchdown without causing a national uproar?
It didn't cause a national uproar. But here's something. The Bible basically says not to make a scene with praying, but to do so in your own home, in private. Jesus would surely call Tim Tebow a hypocrite.
The football coach at Ridgeland High School in Georgia was investigated by the school board.
Did he abuse a student?
Is he a terrorist?
He allowed local churches to feed his football team.
Well, with all the current corruption, scandals, frauds going on, I don't blame them for putting him under investigation. Stories like this go both ways, however, if you do some digging.
In public school, I'm called lesbian
Or gay.
for not kissing or for wanting to save myself for marriage.
Well, teenagers are dicks.
In public school, dating is an obligation.
Really? I never got that memo, and I've always been I've always had a strong enough mind to pretty much say fuck off to anybody that tries to dish peer pressure. Never really worked for them.
In public school, people are rude and disrespectful towards Christians.
Again, teenagers are cunts.
Bullying is common.
Tell me about it. I still live through it though.
What we see in our health classes,
Sex education.
4th grade and up.
Is pornography.
Teenagers are going to fuck anyways. Better to teach them to be prepared and go about it healthily than have them do it naturally and not be safe about it.
People make fun of me because I don't believe in abortion.
Well, people are dicks. However, I'd recommend you look at what George Carlin has to say on the subject of abortion. Love George Carlin.
In public school, people believe Christians are goody-goods and boring.
I've never heard that statement from anyone. I may not be religious, but I am a self-righteous bastard and hold to many of the same morals you people do, like drugs are gay, for an example.
Dirty jokes fill the hallways between classes.
during class,
Before school. At lunch.
After school.
On the bus, off the bus.
Get the idea?
That's the humor of teenagers for you. insolent, and vulgar. With that being said, it's always fun to fuck rabbit anus. Oh, and my hand, no, you have had your chance. Yeah, see you later tonight. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Despite modern popular belief, America was founded as a Christian nation.
Some of it was based on Christian values, and it is kind of a shame to see the roots of our nation taken down, as it is our culture. We're Americans. We don't have a culture short from barbecuing our, roadkill, having sex with our shotguns, blowing shit up, and, oh yes, going to war for people because they're different than us. Anywho, in 1802, President Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptist Association that the First Amendment had built a wall of separation between church and state. This statement is famous, but not having government and religion mixed together has kind of been a big deal here. Money didn't even have anything religious on it until the mid-20th century, and that's because we didn't want to be anything like the scary atheists of the Soviet Union. Oh no.
My grandparents tell me that the church used to be the center of the community.
Well, nothing is stopping you from going to church. Why should you worry about what others do? Times change.
In school, prayer and pledge to the flag was welcomed and appreciated.
Well, I remember having to do that indoctrinating Pledge of Allegiance every day, and prayer hasn't been banned, it's just not forced.
No one would dare not to stand, place their hand over their heart, and recite the pledge.
Blind obedience isn't patriotism, it's subduing slavery. And indoctrination techniques such as the pledge is one way to invoke blind patriotism. Also, I would have gotten in trouble if I didn't stand and do the pledge in school, too.
America was once a force for good.
Don't even get me started on why that is wrong. Don't even. I'd be here all day.
America was once the hope for the world.
No, it was never. In fact, many historians believe that if America never existed, if it was still under British rule, that World War I and World War II would never have taken place. America has been and always will be the laughingstock to the world, and for good reason. It's like if you had 200 or something people who all graduated from business school and law school and such. We are the one nation that graduated from clown school. Now, surely some of these other ones ended up getting poor anyways, but we're the only ones who went to clown school. We got rich from slavery, then stayed rich from another form of slavery. The trick is to create enough flashy media to keep the general public fapping to Oprah and Honey Boo Boo, so that they remain ignorant of how badly they're getting screwed over by a system that decided to throw them overboard some 30-40 years ago.
What happened?
Times change, that's what happened.
In 1962, the Supreme Court ruled that prayer was unconstitutional in schools.
Yes, separation of church and state. Ring any bells? Unconstitutional to make it mandatory. But I remember back when I was a Christian having a religious conversation with my principal. So don't give me that bullshit.
In 1963, the courts ruled the Bible unconstitutional.
Saying that if the Ten Commandments were read in school,
A student might feel inclined to follow them.
Really?
Well, a young impressionable mind should not be put in a place where that may occur. It's impeding on their rights to believe and may offend some who don't believe. If the person, let the person find religion if they want to when they get older. Don't try to force it with brainwashing techniques when they're little. It's not good.
For over 50 years, Christians have been unwilling to get involved.
Really? All this fuss and fight against abortion and gay marriage and other crazy things? The entire Republican Party, Fox News? Really?
people who do not love our God have stolen our country.
A secular nation is a good thing. If you wish to keep your morals and beliefs, then do so, but don't force others to do it along with you. Don't like gay marriage? Don't marry a gay person. Don't like abortion? Don't have an abortion. Let others do whatever they want as long as they aren't harming another living human being.
Jesus said we are salt and light.
Salt and light melt ice.
It is time for a thaw.
You guys better not.
President Ronald Reagan called America a shining light on a hill, a beacon of hope for the world to see.
More American fanboyism, I say.
We are going to let our little American lights shine.
Seriously, a 4th grader who can barely read his lines? What relevance does he have? Hell, what relevance do teenagers have? Adolescents are some of the dumbest people around, and I don't exclude myself from that either. Their opinions and views on the world are just as shitty as some of the ones I've come up with. Just on the opposite end. How dare the creators of this video attempt to exploit the so-called childish innocence, more like ignorance, for their religious agenda.
Through the power of Jesus Christ, we proclaim today.
We refuse to be frozen out of the public square. Our voices will be heard.
Let's reverse it.
Fix it. We are going to turn it around.
How dumb can you be? You realize 85% of America is Christian, don't you? And something here only changes when 60% of the vote agrees on something. Usually, it's the Christians who win.
This is a call to our generation. We are calling on the youth of America to join us.
Nah, not this youth, sister.
At Reach America, we are creating a Christ-centered counterculture, a C4 community.
A counterculture. Most of American culture is based around Christianity. Can you not see that?
A place filled with Christian teens on a mission.
To reach America and our friends for Christ.
Oh god. Better not put me in there. I'd spike the punch and crank some Slayer. And some other interestingly awesome metal bands that you guys would hate.
Christ and our country matter to us.
Shouldn't you be more concerned with helping people and not just in the country? You really should view the world as a community instead of just America.
At Reach America, we are learning to lead our generation.
We are servants, encouragers.
We are learning to hear God's voice and adjust our lives to His will.
God is changing our lives.
We are building life-changing relationships.
We are a family.
We are a team. We are an army.
Christ is our commander.
His will is our charge.
We are impacting our friends,
Our families, our community,
Our state, our country.
We are in a war for the hearts and souls of our generation.
And we know it.
Failure is not an option.
We are going to win this war.
If God be for us,
Who can be against us?
the thaw has begun.
Well now, you kids seem really determined. Why don't you use all this encouragement and camaraderie to get people to, I don't know, help the poor and needy? You know, something relevant and that actually matters to fellow human beings instead of just Bible bashing. I mean, I don't care if you have a religion as long as you keep it to yourself. And if you want to create a community for people who share your beliefs, then more power to you. But using religion as a tool to change people, and from some things you're saying here, change political policies in the future like abortion and gay marriage, then that is where I draw the line at being polite. Why not do something more constructive with all that energy, like help people, instead of spreading religion to those who don't want to hear it in the first place?
High school Christian teens.
join us.
Join us! Join us at Reach America!
In the fight for our generation.
For our nation.
For our future.
Yes, join them. Make a prejudiced and bigoted future for all of hillbilly America. Well, this fight is going to lose, anyways.
In America.
We still hold these truths to be self-evident.
That all men are created equal.
That they are endowed by their Creator.
With certain unalienable rights.
That among these are life,
Liberty.
And the pursuit of happiness.
Yes, all men are created equal, except gay people, atheists, and pretty much anyone who isn't a Christian.
Join the movement at Reach America.
let's reach our communities.
Let's reach our states.
Let's reach America.
Adults, please pray for us.
Support us.
And get involved. Together, looking to Christ as a strength, the thaw will be complete, and America will be one nation under God. Again.
Well, good luck, kids. You aren't going to go very far.